Hey everybody, and welcome back to Felsbrunn Revisited. We are here, 10:30 in the 10:30 in the morning. How can it be 10:30 in the afternoon? Right? Come on. It is expansion day. Plans are to expand our farm by buying Field 19 right next door. And in order to do that, we need $170,000. Well, we have managed to scrape up $138,000, nearly $139,000. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to short the horses. So we are just over halfway through our 10-day period where we are basically training our horses and getting them up to $50,000. In fact, each horse right now is worth $27,000. I've got 4 horses. 4 horsemen. No, not quite as doom and gloom as that, but at any rate, I've got 4 horses that I can sell for basically over 100 grand. That's going to get our bank account up to $238,000. I can then buy 4 more horses for 20 grand. So that'll get us down to $218,000. I only need $174,000 to buy that plot of land. That's then going to leave us money to lease a plow to expand the field a little bit, and then lease a soil sensor to take drill samples and pay for that. And then we will be ready to basically get that field up to snuff with respect to lime. And then we're going to put soybeans in it. So we'll have 2 fields fairly close together in their soybean growth. This field is still, as you can see, under split growth. We've got one little strip over there that has spawned up. The rest of the field is still seeded. I'm hoping to get this field weeded before these weeds decide to spurt again. But that is what the plan is of today. And then maybe we can float 2 fields for a period of time as we continue to raise up our next batch of horses. Maybe we'll be able to take them a full 10 days. Now, I'm looking. We have, I think I've done the math. We have 10 more videos to go. So if we flip our horses today, we'll be able to almost get them to a full stage if we do a video per game day. I might skip a few game days between videos. I don't really know. It depends on, obviously, what can go on and everything. But, yeah, I would love to be able to actually have a farm with buildings before we finish this game save. But in order to do that, we need a lot of cash. Having more fields is going to definitely get us more cash. So I think we're well on our way to getting that done. Let's get this field finished. Sell these horses. Buy this field before the AI farmer goes and messes up my plans by seeding it in some crop. Although if he would actually happen to seed it in soybeans, that wouldn't be such a bad deal. But it's one thing playing without seasons. You feel like maybe you're under the clock a little bit, under the gun. You know, at any point in time, the growth could happen. At any point in time, the AI could do something to a plot of land that you are maybe thinking about doing something with. Can end up being a little stressful. Yeah, with seasons, at least, certain things are a bit more predicted. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here at our animals. You know, the food troughs are pretty good. Water is pretty good. We might hook up to the water trailer and just squirt it up full. Um, Oat and hay and all that are really good. So yeah, $27,000. Let's go ahead and sell these guys. 109,000 after delivery fees and everything. And we'll get 4 new horses. Let's get a... There we go. So we got a gray, a chestnut, a bay, and a black. What's seal brown? Oh, let's get rid of the bay. There we go. We'll do that. And $88,000. $227,000. Thank you so very much. We'll buy this plot of land. $52,000. Thank you very much. And now we need, this says need plowing. And then we have to want to expand our property. So let's go here and see. We're going to need to get a legit plow, right? Because that's the only thing that's going to work for us. We can't use a subsoiler, dag on it. We can use a subsoiler to get the plow bonus, but we can't use a subsoiler to create fields. Not without a mod. All right. Standard or... No. All right, we'll lease this. Like so. This video is brought to you by Steve Sansford. Thank you for being a farm baron. I'm so used to that additional game settings mod over on, well, pretty much every other save that I have ever had since additional game settings came out, including Griffin, Indiana, where all I have to do is hit W and it will, you know, start the engine for me. You see we've got some equipment down here. We actually did take out a harvest contract also. So I'm actually going to get this guy started. The harvest contract. So we can get a little bit of money going on. I've heard from a few folks that are playing along in this type of, as you experienced last week's video, in our Virgin farming series, where we play with no mods, that they have reached 100 contracts. Now, we're not quite at that level. In fact, let's just go ahead and see. We are at 70 contracts, so we got 30 more contracts to go before we reach the illustrious mark of 100. I think what I'll do is we will use this. I want to flip. How do I flip? Turn plow. Flip you over, buddy. And then we're going to do create fields. And what I think I'm going to do is use this hillside as a little bit of a guide. To expand this field out a little bit. We get a little extra land on this side. And then we're going to expand the field on the other side down toward the tree line a little bit. Like so. Then we'll carve this hopefully straight down and then fill in the gap. Try to get that to 180. We'll keep that close to 180. Way we know we're going true. All right. And then it's just going to be a process of filling that in. Let's go up on the other side and kind of just carve out our expansion on that side. But this field is a lot bigger than field 20, even after we expanded field 20. So we're going to be able to get a lot more money per harvest cycle. Now, this means it's going to take a lot more time also, but you know what? We'll be able to increase our equipment in due course. Everything in due time. So let's go down to about here. I do wish I had the ability to have a square plow. We'll cut across. Like so. Like I said, we're not going to merge fields. I'm going to leave them separate by this little grass strip. Just because all right, so what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to go ahead and expand the field to fill out this area that we've just outlined. I'm going to get my contract running so that we can start earning a little bit of money back, and be back with you here in a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and get this field, this part of this field scanned. Finally get it caught up. Should have scanned it when we expanded, but honestly, I guess we didn't think about it, did we? And we've completed our field expansion in field 19. We're about halfway done the harvest contract. And let's check something, because we learned the other week, right? Without outdated data, we're going to need to have to rescan all of our field. Because remember, we learned last time our, what? We learned, let me look at the calendar. We learned last week. Yeah. We learned last week over in Griffin, Indiana, that we can go 6 cycles. 6 harvest cycles before we need to rescan our fields. And we have now gone through that many cycles here on field 20. Between the first harvest of sugar beets and then the second harvest of oats And then we've been able to flip. I guess we flipped oats twice, right? So that was 3, and then we did our soybeans. And I do have a trailer 2/3 full of soybeans right now. That we didn't sell because the price has been dropping. So 904 is the best price. It's falling. You know, we've seen over 1,000 for soybeans, so I'm just going to kind of hold out since we don't really need to sell them at the moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish getting this field scanned. We're probably going to finish out the contract. And you saw me bring a subsoiler over from the shop. And that is because we are going to, well, subsoil field 19 to get the need plow state out of here. And then we will probably finish the day out putting lime on the field and getting it seeded. Don't know how much of that we're gonna put in the video or not, but you kind of understand the premise of what we plan on doing, at least. You see the field over there that we are working our harvest contract on. In fact, let's just... Okay. The red I was seeing down there was the truck I parked at the curb. Looks like we are doing a pretty good job at hitting all the vital parts of the field here. So I'll talk to you in a few minutes. So I thought, what the hey, you know what? If I'm going to subsoil this to get rid of the need plow state, the fact that most of the field is already cultivated, I can't hire a helper. It's going to be hard to keep track of where I've been because of the cultivation state that the subsoiler puts down. I was like, let me get a 4-meter, I'm going to lease a 4-meter seeder, and then I can subsoil and seed at the same time. Hire a helper. I can focus on earning money by running contracts. And, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, looks like we need to helper C, blocked by object. It's called a tree. Helper C. Helper C, this is called a tree. You are blocked not by an object, but by a tree. Thank you very much. So, we're going to... put a couple of in-rows over on this side. That way helper C won't run into this thing that he doesn't know what it is, which is clearly called a tree. We are a little underpowered, I think, to subsoil and seed at the same time, but we're going to get the job done. I do have to say, I like when contracts will fit the entire contents of the field onto a single trailer. Oh my gosh. The only reason this worked is because it was a big field of oats. We knew that oats don't yield the best, but they do pay out pretty Pretty good. So let's go ahead and see what we get. $44,800. That's what we have in the bank at the moment. Contract is finished. $8,000 in harvest income. Nice. On top of $70 or $6,100. And look, we've got another great contract. We're going to borrow these items. What are you doing? What are you doing? Part of the problem when you subsoil and seed at the same time is that technically you are destroying any seed that might be in the working width of the subsoiler, and then you are putting it back down with the seeder. So if there is any overlap, then you are losing seed product, right? You're losing seed. So let's start him over here. And then we don't have to pay attention to him for a little while. We're gonna have to refuel this tractor here also in a little bit. Oh, I like it when these AgriLiner trailers are doubled. Makes easier selling. Big ol' fit. 939 it looks like. Alright, so this is going to be going up on field 12. Let me get this guy started. So I was just looking at that contract on field 12. Grain goes directly to the grain mill right next to the field. Very, very convenient. That is a great pickup of a contract for sure. So we got 2 hired helpers. We're burning through the money a little fast, but I mean, we made a lot of good money off of that last contract. Basically made up for all of our leasing expenses that we've had today so far. And then we've got another good paying contract, so I think we can afford it. Allows us to do other things that we need to get done, like train our horses. Now there was a comment about leasing, and that he thought that I was miscalculating our leasing. So take a look here. Yesterday we had a total leasing of $811. That's it. Now we had $3,900, $2,100, $1,700, $992, but $811 to lease yesterday. Now, if we look at what we are leasing, so we've got 0.9 hours on our weeder. We have not chalked up one usage hour yet on our weeder. We've owned it for 9 days, so we've paid for 9 daily leasing days. The Pottinger, 1.2 hours, so we have rolled an hour on that. We are at 10 days. The Joskins trailer, we've owned for 5 days. We've put no time on it. Not a single minute. Or is basically showing on the clock. Let's go back to that. You see, 0 hours, 5 days. So we've paid for 5 days of that. 1.2 hours and 10 days. So overall, things that we don't use very often is very, very reasonable to just lease. Like I said, we would have to basically own that trailer, the water trailer, for 100 game days before it would have been just as expensive to buy it outright. And we've gone through 5 game days and we've racked up 0 game hours on it because it's just sat over here. I filled it with water. I parked it in the water trough. I filled the water trough, and that's where it's sat since. We've not connected to it. We've not done anything else with it. We have used our pottinger to collect straw a few times. But other than that, it's just been sitting over here. We'll need to collect straw. We'll probably have to do an oat harvest on our smaller field here in a couple more harvest cycles. But yeah, it's empty of straw. As far as what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to keep track of our seeder helper. I want to keep track of our contract helper for the rest of the day. And it looks like we've got, once again, split growth on both of our fields now. We've got first stage growth on a strip of the big field. And then, obviously, no growth on the rest. But it is what it is. So guys, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. If you did, just go ahead and click that like button. Big shout out to our farm bosses, farm barons, and farm hands. Those guys have made the channel oh so much better by joining it and contributing just a little bit each and every month. And as a big thank you to that, they have gotten their names in the credits. And until next time, happy farming.